Welcome to Bible in a Year with Scott Purcell. I'm so glad you're joining me. This is a daily reading of portions of the Bible, following a plan that will include the entire Bible in a year. And now, let's open the book and begin our readings. This is the reading for day 41. If your reading is aligned with the calendar year, this is for February 10th. The Old Testament reading is from Exodus chapter 6, from verse 13 through the end of 6, Exodus 7, and Exodus 8. Exodus 6:13. And Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Aaron, and he commanded them to go to the Israelites and to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to bring the Israelites out from the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their families. The son of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, are Enoch and Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon are Jemuel and Jamin and Ohad and Jachin and Zohar and Shaul, the son of the Canaanites. These are the clans of Simeon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their genealogies: Gershon and Kohath and Merari, and the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon are Libni and Shimei according to their clans. And the sons of Kohath are Amram and Izhar and Hebron and Uzziel, and the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. And the sons of Merari are Mali and Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites according to their genealogies. And Amram took Jochebed his aunt for himself as a wife, and she bore for him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. And the sons of Izhar are Korah and Nepheg and Zikri. And the sons of Uzziel are Mishael and Elzaphan and Sithri. And Aaron took Elisheba, the daughter of Amminadab, the sister of Nahshon, for himself as a wife. And she bore for him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah are Asir and Elkanah and Abiasaph. These are the clans of the Korahites. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, took for himself one of the daughters of Putiel as a wife, and she bore for him Phinehas. These are the heads of the families of the Levites according to their clans. It was that Aaron and Moses to whom Yahweh said, "Bring the Israelites out from the land of Egypt according to their divisions." They were those who spoke to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, in order to bring the Israelites out from Egypt. It was that Moses and Aaron. And so it was on a certain day, Yahweh spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "I am Yahweh. Speak to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, all that I am speaking to you." And Moses said before Yahweh, "Look, I am a poor speaker, and how will Pharaoh listen to me?" Exodus 7. And Yahweh said to Moses, "See, I have made you as a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. You will speak all that I will command you, and Aaron your brother will speak to Pharaoh, and he will release the Israelites from his land. And I myself will harden the heart of Pharaoh, and I will make my signs and my wonders numerous in the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh will not listen to you, and I will put my hand into Egypt and bring out my divisions, my people, the Israelites, from the land of Egypt with great punishments. And the Egyptians will know that I am Yahweh when I stretch out my hand over Egypt and bring the Israelites out from their midst." And Moses and Aaron did it as Yahweh commanded them, so they did. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Do a wonder for yourselves,' you will say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and throw it before Pharaoh, and it will become a snake.'" And Moses and Aaron came to Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron threw his staff before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a snake. And Pharaoh also called the wise men and sorcerers, and they also, the magicians of Egypt, did likewise with their secret arts. Each threw down his staff, and they became snakes, and Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. And Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not listen to them as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is insensitive. He refuses to release the people. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Look, he is going out to the water, and you must wait to meet him on the bank of the Nile, and you must take in your hand the staff that was changed into a snake. And you must say to him, Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Release my people that they may serve me in the desert. And look, you have not listened until now. Thus says Yahweh, By this you will know that I am Yahweh. Look, I am about to strike with the staff that is in my hand the water that is in the Nile, and it will be changed to blood. The fish that are in the Nile will die, and the Nile will stink, and the Egyptians will be unable to drink water from the Nile. And Yahweh said to Moses, Say to Aaron, Take your staff and stretch your hand out over the waters of Egypt, and over their rivers, and over their canals, and over their pools, and over all of their reservoirs of water, so that they become blood. And blood will be in all the land of Egypt, and in vessels of wood and of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, as Yahweh had commanded. And he raised the staff and struck the water that was in the Nile before the eyes of Pharaoh, and before the eyes of his servants, and all of the water that was in the Nile changed to blood. And the fish that were in the Nile died, and the Nile stank, and the Egyptians were not able to drink water from the Nile, and the blood was in all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did likewise with their secret arts, and Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not listen to them as Yahweh had spoken. And Pharaoh turned and went to his house, and this also he did not take to heart. And all of the Egyptians dug around the Nile for water to drink, because they were unable to drink from the water of the Nile. And 7 days passed after Yahweh struck the Nile. Exodus 8. And Yahweh said to Moses, Go to Pharaoh, and say to him, Thus says Yahweh, Release my people so that they may serve me. And if you are refusing to release, look, I am going to plague all of your territory with frogs. And the Nile will swarm with frogs, and they will go up and come into your house and into your bedroom and onto your bed and into the house of your servants and among your people and into your ovens and into your kneading troughs. And the frogs will go up against you and against your people and against all of your servants. And Yahweh said to Moses, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals, and over the pools, and bring up the frogs on the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs went up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did likewise with their secret arts, and they brought up frogs over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, Pray to Yahweh, and let him remove the frogs from me and from my people, and let me release the people so that they can sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moses said to Pharaoh, I leave to you the honor over me. When shall I pray for you and for your servants and for your people to cut off the frogs from you and from your houses? They will be left only in the Nile. And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Let it be according to your word, so that you will know that there is no one like Yahweh our God. And the frogs will depart from you and from your house and from your servants. They will be left only in the Nile. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried out to Yahweh over the matter of the frogs that he had brought on Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died from the houses, from the courtyards, and from the fields. And they piled them up in countless heaps, and the land stank. And Pharaoh saw that there was relief, and he made his heart insensitive, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the land, and it will become gnats in all the land of Egypt." And he did so. And Aaron stretched out his hand with his staff, and he struck the dust of the land, and it became gnats on the humans and on the animals. All of the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their secret arts to bring out the gnats, but they were not able. And the gnats were on the humans and on the animals. And the magicians said to Pharaoh, "It is the finger of God." But the heart of Pharaoh was hard, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Start early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Look, he is going out to the water, and you must say to him, 'Thus says Yahweh, release my people so that they may serve me.' But if you are not about to release my people, look, I am about to send out flies among you and among your servants and among your people and in your houses, and the houses of Egypt will fill up with the flies and also the ground that they are on. But on that day I will distinguish the land of Goshen, where my people are staying, by there not being flies there, so that you will know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the land. And I will put a distinction between my people and your people. This sign will be tomorrow." And Yahweh did so. And a severe swarm of flies came to the house of Pharaoh and the house of his servants and in all the land of Egypt. The land was ruined because of the flies. And Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron, and he said, "Go, sacrifice to your God in the land." And Moses said, "To do so is not right, because we will sacrifice to Yahweh our God a thing detestable to the Egyptians. Look, if we sacrifice before their eyes the thing detestable to the Egyptians, will they not stone us? We will go a journey of 3 days into the desert, and we will sacrifice to Yahweh our God according to what he says to us." And Pharaoh said, "I myself will release you, and you will sacrifice to Yahweh your God in the desert. Only surely you must not go far. Pray for me." And Moses said, "Look, I am going out from you, and I will pray to Yahweh so that the flies depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. Only let not Pharaoh again deceive us by not releasing the people to sacrifice to Yahweh." And Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yahweh, and Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and removed the flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one was left. And Pharaoh made his heart insensitive also this time, and he did not release the people. The New Testament reading is from Matthew chapter 26, from verse 47 through 68. Matthew 26, 47. And while he was still speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, arrived, and with him a large crowd with swords and clubs, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now the one who was betraying him had given them a sign, saying, "The one whom I kiss, he is the one, arrest him." And he came up to Jesus immediately and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. And Jesus said to him, "Friend, do that for which you have come." Then they came up and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. And behold, one of those with Jesus extended his hand and drew his sword, and striking the slave of the high priest, cut off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take up the sword will die by the sword. Or do you think that I cannot call on my Father, and he would put at my disposal at once more than 12 legions of angels? How then would the Scriptures be fulfilled that it must happen in this way?" At that time Jesus said to the crowds, "Have you come out with swords and clubs as against a robber to arrest me? Every day in the temple courts I sat teaching, and you did not arrest me. But all this has happened in order that the Scriptures of the prophets would be fulfilled." Then the disciples all abandoned him and fled. Now those who had arrested Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders had gathered. but Peter was following him from a distance, as far as the courtyard of the high priest. And he went inside and was sitting with the officers to see the outcome. Now the chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false testimony against Jesus in order that they could put him to death. And they did not find it, although many false witnesses came forward. And finally, 2 came forward and said, "This man said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it within 3 days.'" And the high priest stood up and said to him, "Do you reply nothing? What are these people testifying against you?" But Jesus was silent. And the high priest said to him, "I put you under oath by the living God that you tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God." Jesus said to him, "You have said it. But I tell you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his robes, saying, "He has blasphemed. What further need do we have of witnesses? Behold, you have just now heard the blasphemy. What do you think?" And they answered and said, "He deserves death." Then they spat in his face and struck him with their fists, and they slapped him, saying, "Prophesy for us, you Christ. Who is it who hit you?" The wisdom literature reading is from Psalm 19, verses 7 through 14. Psalm 19:7. The law of Yahweh is perfect, reviving life. The testimony of Yahweh is firm, making wise the simple. The precepts of Yahweh are right, making the heart rejoice. The command of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is pure, enduring forever. The ordinances of Yahweh are true, they are righteous altogether. More desirable than gold, even much fine gold, and sweeter than honey, even honey in the comb. Moreover, your servant is warned by them. In keeping them is great reward. Who can perceive his errors? Acquit me from hidden faults. Also keep back your servant from arrogant sins. Let them not rule over me. Then I shall be blameless. I shall be innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your presence, O Yahweh, my rock and my Redeemer. This concludes the reading for day 41. Thank you for listening. These daily readings are made possible by your generous support of the global outreach ministry of Scott Purcell. To partner with us and enable this work and others like it, please visit huttobible.com/give and select Go Pastor Support from the fund list. You can also sign up for ministry updates at scott-purcell.epistle.org/subscribe. Both of those links can be found in the podcast description. Thank you for helping us share God's Word.